Peace and blessings, and welcome to the ZOLA Experience. It's All About Love podcast. We know that love is the highest vibration that we can aspire to and to move through life with. It is healing, it is empowering. And so ZOLA means to love. So we are all about love. Um, I have some very, very special guests coming up. But first, I want you, let's just take care of some business right quick. I want you to go to the bottom of the screen, press that like button, and share, share, share. And then I want you to go to www.thezolaexperience.org. There you will find our website. You will find out more in detail about the intricacies of what we do, what we're about, what our mission is, to offer a tool for change and healing, to help individuals, families, communities, and ultimately humanity to process loss, trauma, and grief. And so we want to welcome you to our show. We want to welcome you to the ZOLA family. Please donate to our cause. We are 501c3. It is a tax-deductible donation, and you will be helping an individual, which ultimately you'll be helping families and communities to begin their process of healing from loss, trauma, and grief. And we know how important that is. We all experience losses every day. And so we need to lend voice to that experience. So I have a very special guest for us today to just really highlight yet another impact of individuals that have gone through the ZOLA experience. So I want to introduce you to Jacky Taft, and she is a ZOLA alum. She has gone through the 7 sessions of ZOLA experience, and she is perhaps one of our veterans in the impact of the ZOLA experience. So I'm going to give Jacky an opportunity to introduce herself and her motivation, what motivated her and or her family members to come through the ZOLA experience. And then we're going to highlight one of the major impacts that comes out of going through the ZOLA experience. So welcome, 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 Jacky, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, and thank you for inviting me for this opportunity to speak about ZOLA. I came through ZOLA back in 2014. My dad passed away June 29th, 2014. Yesterday made 10 years. So that's how we took part in the ZOLA process. And I just want to say that it definitely helped me to process, the grief, to process the death. It was hard to go through, but the ZOLA definitely helped me deal with my emotions, and to help me going forth as I am today.
You have done some very phenomenal things. I remember when you guys wrote down what it is that would be your legacy tribute to your dad.
Yes.
So share with us a little bit about that.
Okay, yes. So, well, my father was William Thompson. He was a coach of the New Haven Age Group Track Club. He was a coach for over 30 years. So he impacted a lot of children's lives, their parents. He was a coach. He was a mentor. And he just did a lot for the city of New Haven. He was one, even though he talked a lot, but he was one that shied away from the limelight. Like, his goal was for the children of the track team to um to I guess reach their best potential. He knew every athlete was different, and he wanted them to try to get that scholarship to save their parents money. So when my dad passed away, and at ZOLA they asked us to what we want to do for a legacy tribute, and I thought that I could honor my father by trying to get something done in his name, because he would not have wanted that while he was here. At the time, Bowen Field was being renovated, and my dad spent like countless hours at Bowen Field because that's where they practice. And again, he was coach for over 30 years. So I thought that this would be a great opportunity to find out, since they were rebuilding, if there was something that could be done, put there in honor of my father. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be done, but I had to, go out there on faith and just think that because of all the lives he impacted, that I would have the support. Um, and so I started with Jeanette Morrison and got the alders involved. She kind of put me in the right direction. I had to write letters. We had to get them suggestions on things that we would like to have at Bournefield. And it ended up that they decided on doing a bench for him. So we did a bench. We have a plaque. So that process started 2015. Um, it took time for it to get done, but I was patient because as long as they were going to do something for my father, it didn't matter how long it took. So 2017, we got the okay. Um, we had a walk for my dad. I don't know, I should have said about the walk first. We do a walk each year for my father, and it's to benefit the New Haven Age Group Track Club. So April 8th, 2017, we had the walk at Coogan Pavilion over at Edgewood. And then after the walk, a couple hours later, we went to Thornfield and had the dedication. Um, we have a bench, we have a plaque, and we had a tree planted for him. So it was an awesome event, just to see the love, the community come out. People who had ran for the track club in the past came out to take part in this special day honoring my father. So yeah.
So, has this been an annual thing that you have continued?
We started the walk in 2015, and we had it every year up until 2020. Because of COVID, we didn't have it for 2021 or 22. We had it in 2023, and we had it this year, 2024. So it's an annual event. Each year I'll say I'm not going to do it again. But it's like a lot of work, but it's all worth it when people come. We've had people that have come to everyone, or we have first timers, and they just like the family atmosphere, the love with the track club. And it's just something that it makes me proud to see that my dad touched so many lives, and he was as special to everybody else as he is to me.
Mhm, mhm. So this is really the essence of why we do that particular thing around a legacy tribute is a part of the ZOLA experience, um, because our goal is for it to bring some sense of closure for families, for the individuals. Can you say, has that impacted your family in that way?
Um, it was hard because my father died unexpectedly. Nobody, I know we all died, but it was sudden, and it took us a while to get, I guess, to process the grief. My mother, she had a hard time. Like Zola, I wish she would have gone, but she just wasn't at that point. She wasn't, I guess,
Mhm,
strong enough
mhm,
to go. But I just felt that I needed to be there because there was a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings that I was dealing with that I could not have done on my own. So with
mhm,
Zola, you were part of a group that was experiencing grief also. And even though my pain, it was hard in that situation, you heard other stories that were just as painful as yours. And so you got to talk with people who were experiencing some of the things that you were experiencing. You got to talk openly, freely. Sometimes things got emotional and you cried, but it was okay because you were around others that were, that could relate to you. So Zola definitely helped me on this journey. It was a long process. I wouldn't have known like where to start. Like I felt guilty. It was so many different emotions, but going through Zola helped me to kind of put it in perspective. Like, things happen for a reason. This was God's plan. I think the way it all happened is how my father would have wanted it to be. So I just had to try to pull out those positive things and when we asked about that legacy tribute, that was my motivation. Like my dad, he was one, like if he wanted something done, he wasn't going to stop until it got done. And so I was willing to do whatever needed to be done to make this dream come true, and this tribute for my father, which was going to make my family proud. And even though my mom was having her, an adjustment or a hard time as far as with dealing with the loss, I knew she would appreciate the honor that we were able to do for him with the bench and the tree, and the plaque, and it was just so much love from the community that words can't express.
So it's truly reflective of ZOLA, which means to love. And it was all about the act of love, the energy of love driving forward, so that, which is that underlying current that kept driving you. And you had mentioned that you got a little frustrated, it was overwhelming at times, but you persevered, you got through it. And you got through it, you persevered, but it was that energy of love that we talk about from the very beginning of ZOLA, that is the foundation from which we work. And you're absolutely right how you described that our goal was to create that safe environment for people to go to experience whatever they were going to experience, and express what they needed to express regarding how they were being supported to make that journey, to begin that grieving process. And we know that the beautiful part is, I know that I was able to attend some of the walks, but you know that my presence has always been there, because I was having my own ZOLA experience during the early stages with my own elder parent experience and loss of a parent, and so I wasn't able to physically be there, but I was able to monetarily contribute. So talk a little bit about how people can support you, because you're ZOLA family. We want to support you, continue to support you. And I think that's really another beautiful part, because everybody in the room shared their legacy tribute. And people are like, oh yeah, I can help you do that, or oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So tell us how we can continue to support your legacy tribute.
Well, the best way is when we have our event, which we usually have annually in April, is to put the word out there to get people to come out to support the walk. You can walk, you can run. It's a good family event. We do a lot of things. We have door prizes that people seem to love. Sometimes we have food. But it's just a great day to honor a coach who meant so much to the community. Like right now, the people that are running now probably didn't know my father, but even though you didn't know him, just hearing the different stories about him or the impact. And if you are running with New Haven age group or friends with somebody from the track club, it's like you just would want to come out to try and support. And if you can't, come out. They have New Haven Age Group has a website where a person could donate at any time. We have a track club if you have kids that are interested in running. New Haven Age Group is it's a great opportunity. They want you to be. My father wanted children to be the best athlete, but he also wanted you to be a good person. So being respectful, hard work pays off. He didn't just want you to, if you were a great athlete but had a bad attitude, that's not what he wanted. So you can still do things of the children that, if you're willing to work hard, it's a great place to be for New Haven Age Group Track Club. And Couture, I forgot to mention, in addition to the bench, which we did in 2017, 2018, 2019, I decided I want to do one more thing for my father. And I didn't know if it could be done. I said, they may say, well, he has the thing at Bowenfield, My dad spent a lot of time practicing with the kids also on the corner of Chapel and the Boulevard. So I decided that I'm going to see if they'll name a street corner after him. Figure they're going to say yes or no, you know. So I did put the request in. I had to get orders approval. They said I had to get 250 signatures. I think we got over 500 signatures. So that, yeah, even with no problem. We had to go to the orders meeting. We had people speak on his behalf to say why they thought that this would be a good idea. It got approved. September 12th, 2020, we had the corner of the Boulevard and Chapel Street named Coach William Thompson Way. So I was like, you know, I was speechless. I was happy because these are, you know, I think what better way to honor my dad? It's like Bournefield, where he spent the majority of times coaching, and that corner of Chapel and the Boulevard, to have that street name for him is just something that's going to be around forever. So people, even if they didn't know him, it's like, you know, if somebody passes by and who's that name after, you know, my father's going to be in history. So I was just proud of that. And probably, I don't know whether I would have had the motivation and all to do that if it wasn't for Zola that has said, what would you like to do? And then that's just like, you know, you can make it come, you know, come to life, come true. And so I really appreciate the experience with Zola, and just giving me that gave me the drive instead of sulking and being sad why my father wasn't here. It was like, how can I honor him? What can I do to make him more proud of us? So, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is so beautiful, and thank you for just being willing to share that piece of history.
Mm-hmm.
That which really now makes sense as to the walk at the park at Edgewood Park,
Edgewood, yeah.
because it's right there on that
So the part of
near
that
that.
route is seeing him, seeing that the sign. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And so I just think it's so important when we talk about legacy. Oftentimes in our communities,
Mm-hmm.
we hear about the legacy may not necessarily be a positive one, because we're dealing with these multiple generations of
Right.
experiences that really weigh us down. And
Mm-hmm.
so for us to be able to change the language, to be able to see the situation, see a positive out of a situation of initially pain,
Right.
right? But
Right.
what's on the other side of pain is pleasure and love. And underneath that, it's important that we process our pain even with
Right.
the energy of love, because we know that um, to be able to grieve is really an act of love, because it's you're connected to whatever that situation was that impacted you. And like we talked about, what we talk about now in Zola is that there are a myriad of lost love objects. It can be the loss of a person, which is where you focused at that particular time. But we also understand now that your loss of object can be the loss of a job. It can be the loss of your physical health. It can be the loss of your body image. It can be the loss of going from second grade to third grade, right? You've been in the same classroom for 2 years, and now we're saying you're a big kid now. You're going to go to a new teacher, a new space. So all of those transitions, even though some of them may appear to be minor, but they are impacting us. They're impacting children. They're impacting young adults. They're impacting us as adults. And our goal is to give you an opportunity to lend voice to your experience, so that you can hear yourself think, get validation from your Zola circle, because you're all validating each other. And that really is our goal. That is really one of the beautiful things about what we're doing and what we will continue to do. So, just as we are getting ready to wrap up, how has the ZOLA experience, even though you were the only person really, I think your sister may have come to one
Yeah.
session,
Right.
um, but you're the person that went through it
Right.
totally.
Right.
How has your experience impacted the family system?
So I think with the family system, it's impacted. Even though my sister didn't go through it, I was able to share some of the things that I learned from the Zola experience. I think it helped my family, as far as like my husband, my daughters, to see me a little stronger, because without Zola, I probably would have fallen apart. And I just don't know how I would have been able to go on. So they were able to see the impact and how it was a positive influence, and then how it just gave me the drive to do these other things, for my dad. And my mother, I lost her in September 24th, 2020. And again,
Mm,
Zola was offered, and I went through that again, because even though
mhm.
you went through it one time, the situation was a little different, but I needed to do that again, and that helped me as well. So the fact
Mhm.
that I was able to go through both, both all sessions, for both parents, I can say that it definitely helped me. Like the fact that I'm able to sadness. I don't
Uh,
feel sadness. I feel, I feel good for what I did. So there's no need for me to weep now. I've done that. I went through that process, and not saying that I'm not sad, because of course, you're sad when you lose your parent,
mhm,
but it's just
mhm,
like a different mindset that I can, like I said,
mhm.
that I'm able to do this, and hopefully do my father justice, do my parents justice, and just to let people know that don't be afraid, of trying something new. Some people might be a little shy and don't want to, experience, to voice their experiences, but that's what helps you when you're not alone, because keeping it bottled in is it's a worse outcome. So, anybody that happens to be experiencing this kind of, any kind of grief, like you said, it could be any kind of loss, try to find that circle, that Zola circle. You'll see that it will give you strength, and it will help you to persevere.
Thank you. So thank you so much for for being part of our Zola family. And we just let you know that we are so proud of the work that you're doing and the legacy tribute that you have and your family have been able to establish. And we will, as part of the Zola family, we will continue to support you in any way that we can. And that'll
Yes.
be part of our legacy as well. So
Right.
thank you so much for joining us today. And for those of you who would like to more information about joining a Zola Circle, the address for the website and to contact the admin is at www.thezolaexperience.org. And we will be sure to get back to you and give you that information. Uh, Please, those of you that are in the area, and Jacky, I want you to feel free to let us know the dates as you're moving forward for the next
I definitely will.
5K run. Let
Okay.
us know so we can also put that on our website as well
Okay.
and
And I thank
support
you so
you
much.
globally.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for supporting and for having me to tell my story. I really appreciate it. My family really appreciates it. So thank you.
You're so welcome. Like, subscribe and share. And as we say in the Zola experience, peace and blessings.
Peace.
Open